Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
The Indians wrap up the first half of the season against the Yankees, entering today with a 6.5 game lead in the AL Central. We have seen scintillating starting pitching led by all-stars Corey Kluber and Danny Salazar, and today's starter Carlos Carrasco. We've also witnessed an offensive surge led by the youngster Francisco Lindor and veterans Jason Kipnis and Mike Napoli. The Tribe looks to finish the first half in style. Next on Sports Time Ohio. It is a gorgeous sunny Sunday afternoon in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, as the Indians wrap up this 4-game series against the New York Yankees, and they will head into the All-Star break, win or lose, with the top spot in the American League Central Division. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. As you look back on the first half of the season as a whole, obviously starting pitching is the key, but this team really took off when the offense got in gear.
You know, once they get that first walk-off win here, and it came against Texas, it seemed like they kicked into gear because they got one not only the first night, but right the next night they come up against Kansas City, get a walk-off win, and it started to come with regularity as the offense, for whatever reason, got a boost of confidence. It's blended very, very well with their pitching. But boy, when you get late wins at home, they have played so well in this ballpark. There's a lot of magic back in this ballpark this year.
No question about it. You look at the Indians, if they win today, it'll be their best record at the All-Star break since 1999.
Yeah, and the thing I like about it most, the 26-11 record in their Central Division, you know, they've really taken care of business in the place you have to, and that's your own division, and they're a little bit above 500 against everybody else.
At the end of the day, the foundation of this team, however, comes back to the starting pitching, and it's been hit and miss so far in this series. Corey Kluber was very good 2 nights ago. Danny Salazar, not so much yesterday.
Yeah, but Carlos Carrasco going out, he has been brilliant in his last 3 starts. Very few hits, 10 hits in his 22 and a third innings, 26 strikeouts. He has mixed in a beautiful changeup there. He can really throw it a lot now. His bread and butter is normally that slider, but I'll tell you what, when he gets everything working, he's going to be tough to hit. You can see the Indian starting rotation, 39 wins second, the ERA they are second, the complete game shutouts they are first, and they don't give up many hits to anybody.
That's our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms matchup looking at today's pitching for the Cleveland Indians. While Carlos Santana leads the team in homers, Mike Napoli leads the club in RBIs. Jason Kipnis is #1 right there at the top in total bases. Francisco Lindor is going to the All-Star game. But where would they be without Jose Ramirez? Andre Knott has more on that when we come back. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. are just about ready for baseball this afternoon here at Progressive Field as the Indians take on the New York Yankees, trying to make it 3 out of 4 against the Bronx Bombers. And you can't ask for a better day, can you?
This is absolutely perfect.
Well, let's go downstairs to Andre Knott, who has more on Jose Ramirez.
Well, at the beginning of the year, there were a lot of question marks about who would hit in the middle of the lineup for the Cleveland Indians. And last year, we always talked about Jose Ramirez having that George Jefferson walk when things were going well for him. Well, that walk went away last year because he didn't have a lot of success. It's back this year, and he's one of the best hitters in the clutch, not only for the Indians, but in baseball. And here's Terry Francona talking about the improvement of what he's done for his team this year. Today's Hear Right sounds of the game.
In left field, third base, shortstop, second base, we've hit him all over the lineup, including the middle. He's one of the league leaders with runners in scoring position. He's not striking out. He's hitting from both sides of the plate, and he's turned himself into a reliable left fielder. I mean, and I think that is a big compliment because he's an infielder. But he, with the absence of Brantley, he has really pulled a lot of weight. And moving forward, when Brant comes back, we know now we have an everyday player, and at some point, probably in the infield. And then it really gets interesting because he's a good defender in the infield.
Absolutely right. He has been really something special. You look at it, the whole team is gelled, but I think if you got to pick for an MVP in the first half on this ball club, he would be right up there if he's not number one.
Well, and again, it's not as though his numbers completely jump off the page at you, but given where he's plugged holes for this club, that's very valuable.
Well, that's when you can take Brantley's name out of the equation because he hasn't played but 11 games this year, if that. And you're not mentioning Michael Brantley. You're talking about him. That's the number one thing he's done.
Well, the Indians take the field now on this Kids Fun Day here at Progressive Field. And Carlos Carrasco will be chucking it for the Tribe. Indians looking for their 53rd win before heading into the All-Star break. The starting lineup that Carrasco will face today for Joe Girardi's New York Yankees looks like this. Brett Gardner in the leadoff spot. Jacoby Ellsbury batting second. Carlos Beltran will hit third. Mark Teixeira batting cleanup. Didi Gregorius has hit in 4 straight games. He's batting fifth. Starlin Castro is sixth. Chase Headley, Rob Refsnyder, and Austin Romine rounded out.
And today's Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher Carlos Carrasco will lead us into the break. His record is 5-2. His ERA is 2.47. His last 3 starts have been really outstanding. A .81 ERA. He is 3-0, only 6 walks, 26 strikeouts. The Indians in his 11 starts are 9-2 as a team. And at home, he has started 5 games. He's 2-0. We'll see if he can continue that. And normally he's a better pitcher on the road. So we'll see if he can close it out in Indians fashion, get a win here before the break. Let's set the defense for you behind him today. Brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this. It'll be Davis in left, Naquin in center, Chisenhall over in right, Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at second, Santana at first with Gomes doing the catching.
Ramon De Jesus will have the plate this afternoon. Dan Bellino at first. The crew chief, Tom Hallion, is at second base, and Phil Cuzzi is down at third. So Carlos Carrasco is ready to go. The Indians at 52-35, 6.5 games better than Detroit, 7 games in the loss column. Then you've got Chicago and Kansas City. All 3 of those teams are 7 games back of the Indians in the loss column in the division. So the Indians have opened up a little bit of a lead, but those other 3 teams are jammed together. Yankees 4th place in the AL East. They are 7.5 games back of front-running Baltimore in the AL East. We're underway as Carrasco fires a first pitch strike into Brett Gardner.
Gardner been a thorn in the Indians side in this series. Had the big hit yesterday. Bases clearing triple in the 6th inning.
A bit inside, 1-1. Gardner in his last 5 games has collected 10 hits. He has scored 3 and driven in 4. Of course, 3 of those came with 1 swing of the bat yesterday. Swung on and missed.
Nice changeup. Already out of the gates with a nice one. And you can see when this pitch is located well, which is down, you see what the hitter does. Out on that front foot, you can't wait back on it. Nice pitch.
And the 1-2 is down and in, moved to feet. And the 2-2. He pulls it up the first base line. It kicks foul.
We'll see if the outfielders have any problems today with the bright sky. There's a little bit of cloud cover, but the sun is shining. It's cool. No humidity.
No. Beautiful.
See which way the flags seem to be blowing in a little bit.
75 degrees at game time. Now the 2-2 from Carrasco. Bounced it in there. Full count. The payoff pitch is in the dirt again. Ball 4. For Carlos Carrasco, it's almost come full circle as a starting pitcher. When you think back to August of 2014, that's when he made his first start after he had been relegated to the bullpen for a period of time. And that was against this New York club at Yankee Stadium. He had not started a game since the end of April. So you're talking about 3, almost 4 solid months.
Yeah, I remember that start.
He worked out of the bullpen. But he started that game in New York, and it started the turnaround of his career. He pitched very well in that game, maybe 2. But Ellsbury's speed able to beat it out. And there's one down.
You know, and that might have been, if you think about it, the final chance for him in that starting rotation. You know, where his maybe last chance to start. When they put him into that bullpen, they wanted to see what he could do. And boy, he stepped it up, didn't he?
Well, since that start, he got the win in that game at New York. He's made 51 starts. He's gone 24-17 with an ERA of 2.88. So he has made the most of that second opportunity, if you will. Now the Indians have the shift on with Carlos Beltran at the plate. And a pitch outside, ball 1. Beltran can still swing it with 19 homers, 55 driven in. He'll be headed to San Diego for the All-Star game. He'll be going with 2 of the Yankees' big 3 at the back end of the bullpen. Left-hander Andrew Miller, right-hander Dellin Betances will also join Beltran in San Diego. The 1-1. And he beats the shift with a single to left field.
Well, a couple of Yankees in this series have done just that. McCann comes to mind when he did it yesterday, and he did it for a couple of times. He had all 3 hits in one game down the left field. And this one's a good fastball. It's down, it's away, and that's pretty much the only thing he could do with that pitch. But there's the shift. That's the third baseman going over. He gets it to left field and gets a base knock, so it's runners at first and second now.
And with a 1-out, Mark Teixeira will step in. Teixeira missed almost the entire month of June with a cartilage tear in his right knee. He sat out yesterday's ball game and is 5 out of 27 on this Yankees road trip.
Well, it's getting to the point now for Tex that it's about injuries and health, the leg problems.
Swung through it, and it's 0-2. He's only the 5th switch hitter in baseball history to get to 400 home runs, along with Mickey Mantle, Eddie Murray, Chipper Jones, and his teammate Carlos Beltran.
Yeah, the guy on first base.
Carrasco with the 0-2. Just seems to be kind of feeling for the ball. And we've seen him in the past when he's going well. He puts a hurting on the baseball.
Well, he's got a good foundation. You know, you look at the career numbers, they're great. But the injuries, and when you don't have the legs, you know, and the knees and the strong foundation down below, hitting is all about the bottom half.
Takes a look. It's a bit outside, 1-2.
Carrasco, another guy that we talk about when we said Salazar and also Kluber, when they get to 2 strikes, they have a chance to bury hitters. They are just 4 for 56 off Carrasco on the year. The Indians have the top 3 in all of baseball.
Up and away again, 2-2. Well, in this series, we haven't seen Indians pitchers able to put Yankee hitters away, with the exception of Corey Kluber, though. I mean, those numbers tell you one thing, but so often in baseball, it's where are you right now? You know, how are you pitching, or how are you swinging the bat today?
Right. That's when you go through scouting reports, what you want to know. Who's the hot guy in the lineup? So I know who I have to maybe pitch around. Or
swung on and missed. He held it. And Teixeira strikes out, 2 away.
Well, let's check the sequence here by Carrasco to Teixeira. This is going to be our Circle K strikeout. He really powers him early. He comes at him with good fastballs. There's one right there he takes just to get an idea. He swings through the second one, and then there's a changeup away. He's fouled off, and that looked like an off-speed pitch changeup as well. Then goes with a little slider until he comes back and gets him to chase that changeup. And he was bang bang ahead of him early. 0-2 on the fastballs.
So 2 on and 2 out for Didi Gregorius. This is that one guy. You talk about the scouting report that says who's hot, who's not. He's about as hot as they come.
He's been their best hitter from June on. There's no doubt about it.
And he takes a fastball for a strike in his current 4-game hit streak, which doesn't sound like much, 4 games. But in those 4 games, he's 8 for 15 with 2 doubles, 2 home runs.
Well, I think, you know, you've heard us talk a lot throughout the course of the year about the shortstops that we have seen play so far this year. And we talk Bogarts in Boston, and you talk Correa in Houston. We certainly talk about our own Lindor. You got to throw this guy's name in the mix, because he's a pretty darn good player that people, as we said, what is it, on Friday night in New York, how do you become underrated? But I mean, this guy, he's a really good player, and he's fun to watch. Not only he saved the game defensively yesterday when he took Uribe, a hit away from him with a runner in scoring position, in another 2-run home run. And the Yankees scored 6 of their 7 runs with 2 outs yesterday.
The 1-1 hit hard but foul.
You know, and the job that he had to fill, the shoes he had to fill, when you're talking about Jeter, not an easy thing to do when you're in that town. Here's yesterday. You throw him down and in, and I'll tell you what, he's getting the barrel of the head, or the barrel of the bat to the baseball in a hurry. And they moved him up in the lineup. And I can see why.
Don't need a PhD to figure that one out, do you?
No, you do not.
2 on, 2 out, 1-2 pitch. And he slaps it the other way.
And that's another thing that he'll do. You know, and here you go yesterday defensively. The play I'm talking about. There was a man ready to score. He gets there, and look how quickly he flips it and gets the force out at second base, and it saved him a run. So not only does he drive him in, he certainly can save him with that leather. But when he gets to 2 strikes, he's a guy that'll take the ball the other way. He doesn't go home run swing every time. He takes his chances, and they have to play him straight up. There's no shift on him whatsoever.
Now the 1-2. And he pulls it foul. You kind of forget because it's been several years now, but when the Indians traded Shin-Soo Choo to Cincinnati, Gregorius came the other way in that deal and ended up going to Arizona, in which the Indians got Trevor Bauer and Brian Shaw and Matt Albers. That was all part of that 3-team swap.
He had a connecting flight through Cleveland
that's right.
to head to Arizona.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Carrasco strikes him out to end the inning, and the Yankees strand a pair. Now the Indians are coming to bat when we come back. Under Terry Francona, it's brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana riding a 10-game hitting streak. Will lead it off. Then it's Jason Kipnis and Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and Lonnie Chisnell. Then it's Rajai Davis, Tyler Naquin, and Yan Gomes.
Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, Masahiro Tanaka. Tanaka in his last 4 starts has been dealing as well. He's 3-0 with a .325 earned run average, just 1 homer allowed. In road games, he's 4-1 in his 8 starts with the league's best 114 earned run average. So this guy, you have to make him get that splitter up. He likes to get ahead of the hitters early, and then he throws that splitter that can go down and out of the strike zone and get you to swing at pitches that you just really can't handle.
Strike over the outside corner.
Very good control, 20 walks in his 112 innings. That's the one I'm talking about right there. The pitch, you have to make him get it up. But he disguises it so well.
to first base. It ate up Teixeira, and now he's flicking his fingers like he might have caught that ball in the bare hand.
It sounded like it.
And Santana's got an infield single to start the game. That took a wicked hop on him, didn't it?
Yes, it sure did. I think he tried to throw a fastball by him, and you can see it got up and on him in a hurry. That ball hit the dirt, and it sounded like it got his bare hand. Yes, it did. You can see him starting to shake it. That's got to be a base hit.
I believe that's the way it's scored.
No, when you hit a ball like that, normally you don't see those hops. But that one took a wicked hop on him. So Santana will start the game off for the Indians with a single. An 11-game hitting streak for Carlos. You don't see him with many streaks because he walks a lot and consistently. So an 11-game hitting streak for him, very good.
Now Jason Kipnis, who's had a pair of gaudy hitting streaks lately. He had a 14-game overall hitting streak. Then he had the long home hitting streak. But more important than that, he's just been on a really consistent tear. Over his last 27 games, he's batted .296. And in those 27 games, he's driven in 20 runs. And a lot of times you might not think of your two-hole hitter as being a big RBI guy, but I mentioned this to you before. Both Jason Kipnis, who bats second, and Lindor, who bats third, they're on pace to drive in between 80 and 90 runs this year.
Well, Kip he's doing a good job. He's pulling a lot of balls this year, so getting some extra base hits, hitting the long ball.
Santana takes off, and Kipnis lines it into the glove of Headley at third. It's an easy double play.
Yeah, not much you could do there. That ball hit right on the nose. Kipnis did the right thing. He stayed on it, but Headley had to jump up and make a leaping catch, and they turn it. It's unfortunate. There it is, a line drive. He was right in, position. If that was over to his right by a foot or the left by a foot, that would have been a base hit. Nothing Santana could do there.
Those are the breaks of the game that sometimes don't seem fair, but.
Well, think about how they started game one out in this series. The game they won. I mentioned in the first 3 innings, it seemed like they were playing right where the Indians hit everything right on the nose. Their positioning was very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Francisco Lindor had his 16th 3-hit game of the season yesterday. And you want to talk some rare company. Only 3 Indians have done it, and he's the first in 90 years.
Wow.
You've got to go all the way to do it in your first 87 games, to have 16 3-hit games in the first 87 of a season.
Boy, that's wiping away some cobwebs right there.
You got to go back to Freddie Spurgeon in 1926. And the only other man to do it, Tris Speaker, in 1920.
Now, I heard of that name. Freddie, I can't say.
Freddie Spurgeon was a young player whose career was cut short by a fractured arm. He was 22 years old when he broke into the big leagues in 1924. And he was considered a very good infield prospect for the Indians. But his career basically ended in 1927. And
very short-lived.
And an interesting side note on the baseballalmanac.com page. In 1948, Freddie Spurgeon was one of the umpires for the College World Series, a series in which George H. Bush played in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You say 48, huh?
Yeah. Same
That's
year,
the
of
year
course, the Indians won the World
Series.
Series.
The last time they won it.
See, it all comes together. Lindor fouls it back. Now payoff pitch is fouled away.
Well, he's doing a nice job of fouling off some pitches, staying alive in this at-bat.
What is the difference for a hitter between a changeup and a good splitter.
Splitter goes down, I think, a little bit more.
More
quicker.
drastic?
Yeah, because this finger, they're split, and it depends on how hard. It could be a harder splitter, it could be softer, it could be just like a changeup, but it seems to go straight down. Where now, like a lot of guys throw the circle changeup and it fades away from the left-handers.
Yeah.
But primarily they're the same thing, depending on how hard you want to throw that splitter. But he's got a good one.
Boy, it was all the rage, though, during, what would you say, the 1980s, the splitter?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Maybe late 70s into the 80s. It could be pressure on your elbow, though.
Lindor lifts one to center field. Ellsbury is there, shading his eyes, makes the catch, inning over. No runs, a hit. We've played one, no score. Aggressive field. Starlin Castro to lead off for New York. And he fouls it right back.
Something the Yankees have done. They didn't the first game per se, but like when Kluber pitched, they let him go through the first time. Yesterday with Salazar, they got aggressive. Started swing early in the count on a lot of the Indians pitchers. I mean, attacking them.
Threw it by him. It's 0-2. Now the 2-strike pitch. That was awfully close, but a 1-2 count now for Castro.
It's a good fastball, well located away. See if he wanted to chase after it.
That's a fair ball. Down into the left field corner it goes. And a double to lead off the second for Castro.
Looks like he left the changeup up in the strike zone. Castro takes advantage of. It'll be his 14th. Threw him the fastball away. And that pitch was sort of just bland. That's sat there. I'm not sure that was a changeup. It might have been a slider that just stayed right there. So that was just a spinner right there that he took advantage of. Hit it down into the corner. So the leadoff double. Second hit for the Yanks.
Chase Headley, a .256 average for the year. But since May 9th, he's hit .297. And that's swatted deep left field, slicing, foul.
They're getting aggressive again. Gonna have to make some quality pitches. Well, you look at some of the pitch grips from Carlos Carrasco. That's sort of the changeup right there. It's almost like a split. Then the slider. Here comes a slider. You see he's around the baseball. When he gets on top of it, yeah, that's what it does. It goes down. But there's been times where he's been leaving him up in the strike zone.
That was a good one. And it's 0-2. You could see the good biting action as that pitch went straight down. Threw it again, struck him out.
That's a good pitch.
Third K for Carrasco, 1 down.
There it goes. You see that pitch and it moves, and that's when it starts that low, boy, that's tough. So even if you swing, that's a changeup. It almost looks like a split because those fingers are split. He holds it a little differently. But boy, when he stays on it and that ball is down in that location, tough pitch to hit.
Rob Refsnyder takes a fastball at the knees on the outside corner for a strike.
That's a well-located fastball. Refsnyder's done a nice job. You know, he's getting some playing time here against the tough right-handers instead of Hicks, who's the outfielder. He played yesterday.
Good off-speed pitch, and that's in for a strike. 0-2. Refsnyder was up for a week in May. Went back for just a few days and then got called right back on May 30th. And as you said, he's been doing a nice job. That should have been strike 3, but for just whatever reason, it didn't call it.
You don't see Carrasco do that on the mound. Check it out on our Nissan Pitch Tracker. It's a young rookie behind the plate today, so you never know if he's had. That's a strike
right down the middle.
Yeah,
of the plate.
I know it. He just didn't. I don't know if it's too low or what. It had plate. It was high enough. We did this guy's first game behind the plate, didn't we? He was from the Dominican.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where he was. It in Detroit? I think it was in Detroit he came up, and he was on the crew, but his last day was a Sunday behind the plate.
Well, I don't care what level you're umpiring at. If the ball's down the middle, it's down the middle.
I hear you. But they miss him too. It was definitely a strike. And now it's going to make him work a couple extra pitches, and we'll see how the outcome is.
Ground ball in the hole. Lindor with a great backhanded pick, and he throws him out. No! It gets away from Santana, and the Yankees score a run. They'll take the lead 1-0. Got to get another look at that.
Well, that's, you see the outcome now of that pitch not being called a strike. He puts it in play. Lindor gets there. Let's see if Santana could make that play. It didn't look like it hit the ground from our vantage point. Here it comes.
He just missed it.
He just whiffed on it. Is right. That did not hit the ground. Let's see another look. He made the long stretch. I think it's a catchable ball. So it'll be, I'm sure, a base hit and an error.
Well, they're going to give the error to Lindor.
No, they gave it to Santana.
They did?
Yes.
All right.
Doesn't matter. It puts another guy in scoring position, and the Yankees are on the board.
There's a ball swatted deep right center. Lonnie Chisenhall can't make the play. It's off his glove. Refsnyder couldn't get his wheels started, so he only gets to third. He almost fell down. And somebody putting the whammy on the Indians here.
Well, he gets there. He has a long way to go, but he got there in plenty of time, and it goes off his glove. And I don't think the sun's in his eyes at this point in time. It's more towards left center. He drives the ball. Now Chisenhall gets a good jump on it. He's running. There it is. Very catchable ball. Goes off his glove. I know you have a long run, but as an outfielder, if it stays in the park, you got to catch it. There it is. He makes the adjustment off the end of the glove. And that's the reason why Refsnyder couldn't do anything. He was at second base thinking, I'm going to tag. He should have at least been halfway. So I want to see how they score that. They give him a double. To me, that's a gift. I know he had a long run to go, but that's a play that should have been made as well. So the Indians right now hurting themselves.
And second and third with only one out.
Again, I think out of their first 9 batters faced, they had 4 swings at the first pitch. And they have 4 hits the first time through the lineup. They are 4 for 8.
Inside ball 1.
I'm sorry, 3 hits the first time through, because that was just a flat out error all the way through.
Three hits, but only 2 legitimate. Inning should be over.
Well, we'll see if Carlos can pick his defense up and at least minimize damage here.
The inning should be over because he had Refsnyder struck out, but the umpire had a brain lock, and then Romine lifted a ball to deep right that Lonnie Chisenhall should have caught but did not. It went for a double, and now the Yankees are set up for a big inning with a run already in. He almost picked off Refsnyder, the runner at third base, even though he was in foul ground. The 1-2. Swung out and missed. Carrasco picks him up. Gets a strikeout, 2 away.
That's strikeout number 4, and that's one needed right at that time. That's a nice job by Carrasco to just come up, and he throws him a beautiful changeup here when he's ahead. Expands the zone. He swings at one off the plate. Now a chance to pick up his defense here with one more out.
Jacoby Ellsbury, the batter, he bounced one to Lindor, the shortstop, his first time up. Way outside, ball 1.
I know you have first base open here in this situation. This is the guy Carrasco wants to get. You've got Beltran, one of their better hitters, their best home run hitter and RBI guy on deck.
And now it's 3-0. Taking a long time. And now Ellsbury steps out. Three balls, no strikes. First base open. 2 down in the inning. A run in for New York. Now Carrasco steps off. Jacoby Ellsbury. Trying to do some serious 2-out damage. But will he even swing 3-0? No, takes a strike.
No way he's taking. He wants to get on base, keep this thing rolling. He may take a cut here. 3-1 count, sit and look for another fastball.
Strike called, and it's a full count. And now Ellsbury,
Well,
he's griping.
Well, he's griping, and the same thing happened earlier in the inning where they caught a break and the number 8 hitter, Refsnyder. And this one, let's see. I mean, you're going to see a change in this inning right there. That's not even close. That's a ball. He should have been on first base. And earlier in the inning, it was a strike. He should have been out. And that's when the Yankees scored. So there's a big turnaround here. But they both have beefs. Carrasco had one and lost it. And right now Ellsbury has. We'll see what happens on this pitch.
Here's the payoff. And it's socked into the alley, deep right center, and gone. Ellsbury has the final say. A 2-out, 3-run homer, a 4-0 New York lead.
Well, he better thank the umpire for calling that a strike when he gets to home plate, because he got another pitch instead of being on first base. He hit a changeup out of the ballpark, and I mean a line drive changeup into right center field, his 4th home run. And that was out over the plate, and the Yankees have a big 4 spot on the board here in the 2nd.
Only the 4th home run hit this year by Ellsbury. And Carlos Beltran goes hacking. Strike 1.
For Carrasco, his 11th homer given up.
Breaking ball in for a strike. 0-2. That's driven to pretty deep center. Back goes Naquin. Makes the catch. The inning is over, but the Yankees blow it open with a 4-run second. Dug themselves a deep hole to dig out of.
Yes, they do. They have a lot of work to do.
Mike Napoli will lead it off here in the second. And it's a little bit low, ball one. One ball, one strike. That's low and away.
Well, pretty good numbers for Napoli against Tanaka. 5 for 8, a couple of homers, 3 doubles.
Low and away.
Looks like Tanaka knows it too. Well, this is where, if you're the Indians, you certainly want to answer that if you can. Try and get a run back and get a little momentum back on your side with the crowd here. And you get the lead up man aboard. I had to wait. I was going to wait till I saw him.
You're not sure, are you?
I wasn't. I had to wait. Let's set the Yankees defense for you behind Tanaka this afternoon. As Gardner in left, Ellsbury in center. Ref Snyder is over and right. Headley at third, Gregorius at short. Castro at second, Teixeira is at first. Romine doing the catching. Remember, we used to have to wait for Joe Brinkman when he stood back behind the plate and wait for balls and strikes. And I'm thinking, okay, now I'm going to wait before I say anything now.
He and remember Tim McClellan.
Tim McClellan, yes.
Forever.
I think McClellan, though, at least made a vocal sound.
He told the guys around the plate. He
Right.
just didn't let the rest of us in on it.
Exactly. It was on. We were on a 3-second delay. Sort of like our mics.
And Ramirez, a rare strikeout. 1 down. The keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Carrasco tried to finish the first half in style. That's off to a slow start as far as that's concerned.
Well, he wasn't helped by his defense, I will say that. See if they can get to Tanaka early.
Breaking ball over for a strike.
That's a, get me over. Let's go curveball where he can set things up. Chisenhall likes the ball down, though.
Swing and a miss. 2 quick strikes. Missed in off the plate. And a ground ball beats the shift by Lonnie Chisenhall on a 1-2 pitch. He's got himself a base knock, and the Indians have 2 on with 1 out.
I figured if he got one down in Lonnie's zone, he can hit it hard, and there it is. It's down, it's going away, and he finds the hole, even though they had 3 guys on the right side. He goes between the shortstop and second baseman. He didn't pull it in the hole between first and second, so now they have a couple of runners on.
Rajay Davis with a line drive base hit into left field. Coming around third, Mike Napoli will score. On his way to third base goes Chisenhall. Rajay ropes an RBI single to get the Indians on the board here in the second.
Good for him. He did a nice job of jumping on that early. It looked like a breaking ball that was hung. This is going to be our AT&T high-speed replay. And boy, that's it. If you get that first pitch you like, he got a breaking ball. He drives it to left field. Napoli comes in to score. They answer, and they have a chance to add on. So nice job. Back-to-back hits, and there's a spinner that stayed belt high. That one's not coming back. Now Naquin with an opportunity. The Indians, they have been answering the Yankees. CC had the lead yesterday. They put a 3-spot on the board to come back and take the lead.
Well, Tyler Naquin has had a terrific first half to his rookie campaign, but on the first pitch he pops one up on the infield, and Gregorius with the infield fly rule makes the catch. 2 down.
Well, see if Gomes can get a 2-out base hit here. Naquin went after that first pitch. He's a low ball hitter. He just popped it up. But they got the crowd back into it there. They're on the board. And then that's exactly what they're doing. They're talking about what's going on. Situation, what was the pitch, how they want to go about it. Talking to the young rookie.
Yan Gomes takes a strike, and stealing second base without a throw is Rajay Davis. That's his 24th steal on the year.
Yeah, he knows there's runners at first and third. They're not going to go ahead and throw through. So that's a heads up play, because now a base hit will get you 2 more. They fake the throw. And Rajay gets a stolen base, and he is now in the lead of the American League with 24. Yes, he did.
Chased the ball in the dirt.
Patience.
No, he did not go.
Oh my goodness.
And it's 1-1.
I thought he did. I thought the home plate umpire called it.
He appealed, and Dan Bellino said no.
And he was pointing at first. Oh, okay. He didn't go. That's a good call. It looked different from up here. From that side look, you got a much better view.
Now 1-1. Low and away. 2 balls and a strike. And so now Gomes has put himself into a good hitter's count.
But you have to stay patient with this guy.
Well, of all hitters right now, where he's been at lately, he has to remain patient.
Right, exactly.
Regardless of who's out there chucking him. He does.
Good.
And it's 3-1.
Now you have to remain. You see, when you're struggling like Yan is, it seems like you got to get up there and you want to swing at everything because you feel you have to. When you're swinging the bat well and you have a little confidence, you don't care if they get with strike 1 or strike 2 on you, because you believe you're going to still hit the ball hard no matter what the count is. So it's very, now for him, he has to remain patient. Even if it's a 3-1 pitch, it doesn't mean he's going to throw you right down the middle.
He lays off.
go.
It's ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
That right there could set up his day, that at bat, because he was patient enough to take the walk. He wasn't going to throw him a strike and see if he could get him out.
Down to Andre.
Arch says that could make his day. I think if you're Terry Francona, you want him to make his whole week. He said if anybody's been wearing it more than anyone else, has been Yan Gomes. He needs this all-star break. He wants him to come back with confidence and hold his head high and forget about the first half. But a bat like that could help make him feel a little bit better going into this break.
Yeah, it'll help a whole lot more if Santana does some damage now. Base hit his first time up, extending his hit streak to 11 games. He takes ball 1.
Yeah, looked like a little cross-up right there. That was Gomes' first walk since the 18th of June. So that was
almost a month.
Yeah, and look at this. He's looking for the fastball. He throws the curveball. It was a strike, too.
It was right down the middle of the
yeah,
plate,
but it messed him up. He was looking for one sign that he put down. He got another. Tanaka threw the curveball. He was looking for a fastball. And it was a pretty good pitch. Boy, a hit here. Get this crowd into it.
Out of play. 1-1. Lonnie Chisenhall, his base hit helped to set up the inning after Napoli walked to start it. Rajay knocked home Napoli. Now after the walk to Gomes, the bases are loaded. And with 2 outs, Carlos Santana awaits the 1-1 pitch. Off the glove. And Chisenhall darted toward home, but he put the brakes on, and Rajay reacting off Chisenhall's initial burst. He was halfway, maybe more, toward third base, so he had to scramble back.
You have to make sure you're going to make it. And I think Chisenhall wanted to. He just wasn't sure that it got far enough away. He had his eye on it, but that's heads up by Davis. Davis said, "Oh, you're not running?" And if their initial instinct is to look at the lead runner, which you have to do, but Lonnie didn't feel he could get there. If you go, you got to go early. You can't think about it. It has to be reaction.
And now the 2-1 to Santana. Chops it to first. Teixeira has it. The long flip. The inning is over. Indians get a run, but they leave them loaded. It's 4-1 New York after 2. Buick. Since June the 1st, the Indians are 26-11. That's best in baseball.
Love that 700 winning percentage. How about that?
Leading off for New York is Mark Teixeira. And he looks at a strike. Lifted to left. And Rajay Davis makes the catch, 1 down. A great clip of the game from pre-All-Star break baseball, Rajay Davis. That was some catch. It saved the game and started an incredible road trip for the Indians.
No doubt. Yeah, they went on to win 8 straight on that trip. After coming off a 6-0 homestand.
Foul back. And there's a liner to Kipnis for out number 2.
Well, Kipnis hit one on the nose. It was taken away from him, so he's going to take one away. They don't give it, you don't give it. Take it away. Castro, he got the second inning started with a double after Carlos got ahead of him 0-2. Missed with a fastball away, but hung him a slider that he hit down into the corner. That was a good one. That was a good slider there.
Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ran that one in off the plate. Indians down 4-1 here in the top half of the third. 2 down. Base is empty. A 2 ball, 1 strike count for Starlin Castro. And he takes a strike to even the count. Danny Salazar, who was maybe in the running to start the All-Star game, will now not participate in the All-Star game. He was been replaced by Jose Quintana on the Chicago White Sox. The 2-2 fouled out of play to the right. I'm told Salazar will still go to the All-Star game and participate in the festivities and be part of it because he was selected. He earned that honor. But he will not pitch now. The 2-2. Pulled foul. You know, it's funny when you think about there for a while, Chris Sale was clearly the best pitcher in the American League. It wasn't even a race. It was Chris Sale and then everybody else. And he's had a little bit of a slump.
Yes, he has.
Danny Salazar's kind of surged to the top of the leaderboard. And now his last couple of starts, he's had a little mini slump.
Well, I mean, look at the teams that got out of the gate quick. Cubs, for one.
Yep.
The Indians and Cubs are now tied when it comes to records, aren't they?
Chicago 52 and 35.
And
Cleveland 52 and 35.
So, I mean,
San Francisco has the best record in baseball at 56 and 33.
Texas was hot, and they have 54 wins, so they're second. Washington has 53. Yeah, you know, peaks and valleys, man.
A lot of them in a baseball
season. Peaks and valleys, there sure is. And it happens to everybody.
Oh, the Cubs have lost 9 out of 10, by the way. They've really.
Well, one of their things is if you look at their pitcher starters ERA, they're up over 4. They're all closer to 5.
I mean, how'd you like to lose 9 out of 10 and still have a 6.5 game lead in the division?
Yeah, well, that happens. They did their damage early.
You build up that cushion. It's like putting pennies in the bank. You save it for a rainy day.
Right. Well, you know everybody's going to have a time throughout the course of the year where you could lose 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 or, you know, 11 out of 15. That's why it's so important to win the games that you have opportunities to win.
Carrasco throws to first, and the Yankees go 1-2-3. 4-1 New York, middle of the third. on to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Indians down 3 as we go to the 3rd inning. And Jason Kipnis will lead it off for the Indians. Kipnis, he lined into a double play in the 1st inning. And that looked like at the time just kind of a bad break. Santana was running on the pitch and he had a line drive, but Chase Headley, who's in on the grass at 3rd, reached up, jumped up I should say, and snared it just before it would have gone into left field.
And the funny thing is, how many times do you see Santana running? Rarely.
Yeah.
You know, he's only tried 6. That was his 6th, I should say. There you go.
And Kipnis has a base hit in the left center, and the Indians have their leadoff man aboard for the 3rd time.
He has a nice stroke going right now. He is hitting the ball where it's pitched. He did the first time up, they pitched him away. He lined out, but this time he found the hole between 1st and 2nd. They've been trying to pitch him inside. They've been able to turn on it a lot.
T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Talked about this earlier. Francisco Lindor with 16 3-hit games. But look at Xander Bogaerts with 14.
Well, you're looking at some hitting machines that are up there. Altuve, you know, I think he leads the league in hits. He's up around the 120 mark. Altuve's got 119 hits. Bogaerts 117.
Now Lindor trying to ignite a rally now here in the 3rd. With Kipnis aboard to start the inning, and the Indians down 4-1. He socks one into center field, and Kipnis will stop at 2nd base. So back-to-back singles to open the home half of the 3rd for Cleveland.
Boy, a nice swing and a nice sound off the bat there. He took it right back up the middle. So back-to-back singles again for the Indians. He stayed down on it. You can see Tanaka ducking, but no reason to. That ball was high enough over his head, and a nice line drive to center field. So now the Indians with 5 hits.
On the homestand, when an Indians batter has led off an inning, they're hitting .396. They've scored 17 runs. Now Mike Napoli, who walked and scored for the Tribe in the 2nd, he takes outside ball 1.
Okay. I don't think Napoli liked that, but he's not saying anything. It's only strike 1. Let's take a look at it and see. Well, he didn't move his glove, but the patience was there.
And the 1-1 offering. And he threw that one by him. A ball and 2 strikes. Napoli with 13 home runs at Progressive Field this year. He has made this home sweet home. Now the 1-2 popped back out of play.
Trying to send along a happy 40th anniversary to Dave and Joni Vale. Celebrating number 40. Congratulations, Ed Smerdell Jr. of Myrtle Beach. Happy birthday. He is 66 today. And Ed Pinch of Hermitage, Pennsylvania will be 80 on Wednesday when we're on the All-Star break. So happy birthday to you.
Ooh, he took one right down the middle.
Yeah, it looked good. He must have been looking for something going away, but he threw it right there and gets the strikeout looking. Number 2. Went inside. I think Napoli might have been looking away, and he locks him up with a good fastball at 89 right on the inside part of the plate. So he gets the first out. Now Ramirez with an opportunity.
Jose Ramirez, though he struck out his first time up, has made a habit of beating up on Yankee pitching in his brief career. Jose batting .347 against New York coming into today with 4 3-hit games against them in his career.
Well, he had 3 hits, 3 ribbies yesterday.
Down and in, 1-1.
Coming into this game, left-handers are hitting .222 off Tanaka with 3 homers. Righties were hitting .239 with 6 homers. I told you he's always been good on the road. His ERA is the league's best, 1.14 coming into today.
Timing play close.
Well done. That was awfully close.
Kipnis gets back in time.
Well, it looked like Gregorius was telling him no, he was safe. You know, they wanted to look at the replay, but he gets the hand.
He missed.
Back. Yeah, he missed him.
Tell you what, if he'd have slapped the tag on him,
He had him.
Might have had him.
That's why he said no, he was safe. That's okay. I didn't see he missed him. I thought he did tag him the first time.
Right back to Tanaka.
He'd
take the sure out at first. It might have been a double play.
He had a double play ball if he knew how many outs there were. I think he forgot. He thought he had 2 outs. And he missed it, and he only gets the 1. So that's a break for the Indians. He didn't just go. He forgot how many outs there were. That's a 1-hopper, automatic double play ball. You see Gregorius saying, where are you going? He's right there. He only takes the 1. Yeah, okay.
Well, now they've got to cash in.
That's a break for the Indians because that inning should be over if he goes right to second with the play.
Lonnie Chisenhall a base hit his first time up. Shoots it to left. Gardner coming on, makes the catch, ends the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We played 3. It's New York 4, Cleveland 1. Bottom third of the Yankee order due up. Chase Headley was overmatched by Carrasco his first time up. That is hit hard and deep to right, and a one-hop the wall. And Chase Headley is into second base with a leadoff double.
Their second straight leadoff double.
Back in the second inning, an error by Carlos Santana helped to open up the Yankees inning. Lonnie Chisenhall misplayed a ball. And that was called a strike. Ellsbury thought it was ball 4, and then he clobbered the next pitch for a 3-run homer.
I said he should have thanked him for calling that pitch a strike after the final outcome there. But the Indians defense set that inning up. Santana, Chisenhall should have made the catch.
And we didn't see the strike 3 call to Rob Refsnyder that should have been the second out of the inning.
Where he ended up getting that was the error.
He put the ball in play, and then that was the error on Santana. So it was everything that could have gone wrong did in that inning.
Well, they took advantage of it, though. They ended up scoring the big 4 runs. So now we'll see if Carlos can get out of this one. Back in the second, when everything went wrong, that's what they had, the leadoff double by Castro. The Yankees with 3 doubles on the afternoon and the home run, so they have 4 extra base hits. Carrasco, man, as we mentioned, he gave up, what, 10 hits in his last 3 starts. Been dominating.
Hard hit to third. Ramirez misplays it. And nothing is going right for the Indians here today. So the error, the second of the day for the Indians, could very easily be their third.
What is it with Refsnyder? Again, there's the error when he's hitting. That ball, it's just Ramirez let the ball play him. So the second error. Now it's first and second, nobody out. That's number 51 on the year for the Indians. They were playing very good defense all along.
Romine square, throw back by Gomes, but Headley beats the tag of Lindor. Again, he squares, fouls this one off. It's 0-2. Romine upset with himself that he couldn't get the job done as far as the bunt is concerned.
Well, you see that more and more nowadays, especially in the American League. Situation presents itself. You're hitting at the bottom part of the lineup. They ask you to bunt and move the runners, and it just doesn't happen. It's becoming a lost art.
Slowly chopped to third. Ramirez goes to second. They get the out there. It's the first of the inning. Headley is at third. Romine is at first.
Well, and now they still have the double play in order. Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com @bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Though he's only made 72 pitches, Austin Adams is warming in the Cleveland bullpen. Brett Gardner walked in the first, struck out in the second. Indians are already fighting uphill. They can ill afford to give up another big inning. The one thing you don't know is that even with the All-Star break coming up, how much Joe Girardi can afford to push his bullpen. He's had to use the big three in 2 of the first 3 games, and both Chapman and Miller have worked multiple innings. Betances, I think, has worked multiple innings.
Well, it was 2 1/3. It was a career high for Chapman yesterday.
This is the only time he's worked more than an inning this year.
So you would figure he's done, but you never know before the All-Star break. We got to get to that point. Right now, Carrasco going to try and hold that runner at third, keep it a 4-1 ball game with 1 out. Unless Gardner hits into a double play, and he's going to have to hit it right at him because he can get down the line. That could do it. Nope.
Kipnis to second for 1. No chance at the double play. 5-1 New York.
Yeah. It only hit into 1 all year long, and if it's not a 1-hopper, you're not going to get him. So the error comes back to hurt him. That big second inning is the one where the Yankees did the damage.
A little bit low, ball 1 to Jacoby Ellsbury, who hit a 3-run homer that capped that big second inning. Only the 4th home run of the year for Ellsbury, who has now 29 runs batted in. So think about that. He's got 4 homers, 29 RBIs. He has 16 stolen bases. And he's in the 3rd year of a contract that pays him in excess of $20 million a year.
Ouch.
Sometimes fans direct their anger at a player. Yeah, it's not the player's fault.
Well, that's true. You know, they wanted him. They took him away from the Red Sox. It was a steep price to pay, but when you're giving big money to guys that usually make their living with their speed, you have to really be careful. Because the older you get, the wheels just don't hold up.
It was a 7-year, $153 million deal that got him.
So he's got 4 more.
Yep. I mean, when the Red Sox had him, it's not like he was playing for peanuts in Boston. His last year with the Red Sox was $9 million.
Well, he had that free agent year. They had a bidding war. Boston wanted to keep him. The Yankees wanted him. They needed a center fielder.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4. The Indians starting pitching has not been very good in this series. Outside of the terrific start by Corey Kluber, the other 3 have been clunkers. And Carlos Carrasco is out with 2 outs in the 4th inning here this afternoon. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. Right-hander Austin Adams is coming on when we come back.
in left with the district ticket. It's presented by Sports Time Ohio. District tickets are only $13, and that includes your first drink. They are available online now at Indians.com/district ticket.
Austin Adams on for the 8th time this year. No wins or losses. The ERA .235. He's walked 3, punched out 12 and 7 2/3 innings. And he comes into a situation with 2 on and 2 out, and Carlos Beltran at the plate. That's a nice backhanded pick by Gomes on a ball in the dirt. A little bit low, 2-0. Just missed, and it's 3-0. Beltran, green light all the way.
No doubt about it. He's trying to make it an 8-1 game there. 3-0 count. He fell behind him. You better be careful here. This guy at his age, 39, still has very good bat speed. He's not one that has to cheat to catch up to the ball. 19 homers, 55 RBIs.
Beats it into the ground. Big hop for Kipnis. Inning is over. Yankees tack on a run. Middle of the 4th. New York 5, Cleveland 1. Attorneys at Elk. Craig Kimbrough went on the DL with a left knee issue that should only sideline him 3 to 6 weeks, not a season-ending situation. And Dave Dombrowski promptly went out and traded for Brad Ziegler. Carlos Rodon, the White Sox left-handed starter, and a good one. And a left wrist problem. Rajay Davis drove in a run, the only run for Cleveland in the second inning. Snapped an 0 for 9 slump with that base hit. Even with that 0 for 9 in his last 18 games, Rajay is hitting .319 and has scored 15 runs. In the dirt. Now the 2-2. And he pops it straight up on the infield. The shortstop Gregorius. One down.
Well, KeyBank Kids tickets are just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They're located in the family deck here at Progressive Field by the Kids Clubhouse. Kids tickets only available at Indians.com.
Tyler Naquin popped up on the infield. First pitch he saw in the second inning. Well, the Indians are hoping to have an addition to their outfield maybe before the month of July is over. And that addition would be Michael Brantley. He's going to start his rehab assignment on Monday at Mahoning Valley in Class A ball. He's going to play 5 innings. So while the rest of the big league club takes a 4-day break, Brantley is getting back to work and he's excited about it. And Terry Francona said we're excited about it because you start thinking, well, this could be a huge addition if we can get him back.
Yeah, would be great.
He's going to play 5 innings tomorrow in Mahoning Valley, and then Tito said Wednesday he'll go to Lake County, and over the weekend he'll bump up to Double-A Akron. And he said probably over that weekend it'll be his first back-to-back games. Terry said, you know, sometimes you have to carefully choose your words when you're talking about these situations, but heck, he said we're excited, you know, and he's going to play games and they're going to work off of him. If he feels good, they're going to keep the ship sailing straight ahead. Naquin fouls it off. Now the payoff pitch. And I don't know if it's a factor or not, but because and every body's different, but with Michael, he's been able to work out, do the cardio, work with his legs. So it's not a matter of getting his wind ready. It's just a matter of
Baseball
timing,
moves,
seeing
baseball
pitches.
moves.
Yeah.
You know, you got to play the outfield, shortstop, you know, short bursts of speed, cutting balls off. I mean, that's when you really have to see. It's between the lines. You can do all the work you want.
go down to Andre.
Well, this is game number 88 for the Indians. And beforehand, Terry Francona talked about this is a good time for an all-star break for this team. He says he sees that they could be a little tired with what the schedule has been over the last couple of weeks and what he needs out of them. He says when they predicate running and running the bases hard the way that they have, he said this is a team that's done that since spring training. So he wants them to rest and come back after this break and be able to do the same thing in the second half. He says this is a good time for this team to be at the break.
I would agree. I think the players would agree. They had a stretch there on that last homestand, and I still think that 19-inning game is showing effects here to this ball club, and it's a week later. I really, truly do. You know, and then we came home and had a 2.5-hour rain delay and a long night there. And I'll tell you, these guys have worked their way through it, and fatigue, it shows. It shows in your legs. It shows in your defense and your hitting. And some of these guys are exhausted, and they deserve a break. And as we mentioned, a lot of times it's not always physical. It's a mental thing as well. You need a couple days off to think about nothing.
High pop, back and out of play. Sometimes the mental break can do wonders for the physical body too.
Yeah, really. Well, that's his game. What do they say? It's 80% mental. I mean, it really truly is.
How far can you push yourself when you say, I just don't feel it today, right?
You'd be amazed how much you can push yourself, but there comes a point in time where you need that rest.
Well, Tanaka pushed the Indians around here so far today. Furniture for the best deals on furniture and mattresses. Shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers and by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. (5-1). New York leads it, 5th inning. Mark Teixeira, Didi Gregorius, and Starlin Castro due for the Yankees. Liner, base hit, right field. And Teixeira is aboard for New York. By the way, the reason that Danny Salazar will not pitch in the All-Star game is because of mild elbow discomfort. Because Terry said you can't just show up at the All-Star game and say, I'm not really feeling it today. Because he said that puts the manager, I mean, he's been in those situations. He knows what it's like to manage an all-star game.
Yeah.
And he said it's not as simple as you would think. You've got a certain number of players. You got to try to get everybody in,
Right.
but you've got to reserve some guys in case we go extra innings. And he said you can't have a guy show up that day and say, hey, you know, Skip, I'm not really feeling it. I think I'd rather not play.
And you're dealing with other people's players too. That's probably the toughest thing, you know.
You've got to be respectful of that
Yeah,
as well, right?
absolutely. And Ned Yost is the coach of the All-Star, the manager of the All-Star team.
Swing and a miss by Gregorius.
That's the worst swing I've seen him take all series, right there.
Looked like he was kind of in between.
He was caught in between. That fastball just took off, and
Looked like it was in the glove when he started swinging, didn't
pretty
it?
much was.
Bullet foul. Well, we talk about the ups and downs of a baseball season and how hitters, you don't stay hot the whole season. As a team, you may go a couple of weeks and hit everything in sight with runners in scoring position, and then you might not hit for a while with runners in scoring position. Starting pitching the same way. You know, they carried the team during that win streak for the most part. The starters were phenomenal during the 14-game win streak. Since that win streak has ended, now the starters have gone 2-3 with a 6.18 ERA. That ball's hit pretty hard. Deep left field. Davis back, and he's going to run out of room. Off the wall it goes. Teixeira to third. Into second with a double is Gregorius.
Well, he made an adjustment after that one funky swing. He comes back and takes him off the left field wall. Fourth double for the Yankees. Second and third. This inning is set up. Is that a changeup? Whatever, it went a long way, but it was upstairs. Davis going back. He ran out of room. And let's see. Yeah, it was. It was a changeup. He left upstairs. Boy, with those changeups, when they're down, they're great because they got to use their legs when they're up. It's easy for the hitters to take it the other way. And now Adams going to leave the ball game after a third of an inning. The first two reach here in the fifth.
Timeout in Cleveland. 5-1 New York. This game fell apart for the Indians in an ugly second inning.
Well, there's a play there that Santana doesn't catch the ball. It gets by him, and they let a run score. And then Chisenhall makes a break and has a catch on the run he dropped, and then a 3-run home run. That capped off a 4-run inning. With the 5 runs that Carrasco gave up today, only 1 was earned. So the defense fell apart. And Carrasco tried to pick him up, couldn't do it. And now Jeff Manship coming on for the 30th time. He's inheriting runners at second and third and nobody out.
And Starlin Castro takes a strike. Castro 1 out of 2, doubled and scored in the second inning. TJ House now begins to loosen in the Cleveland pen. Right side of the infield for the Indians is drawn in. Left side is back. Not all the way back, but look, Teixeira's at third. He can't run a lick, so that's why they're in a little bit. They can cut off the angles.
True. On a 1-hopper, if he goes on contact, please. That's what you want. Then you get to 1 out. If you can get to 1 out and keep it at second and third, then you bring them in a little bit closer for the next guy, I'm sure.
Check, did he go? They appeal, he did not. Seattle leading Kansas City 2-0. They're in the 3rd inning. Toronto leads Detroit 5-0. Pitch is low and away. He walked him and the bases are loaded. It's now 5-1 Toronto over Detroit. They're in the 6th inning. And as I mentioned, Detroit, Chicago, Kansas City all started the day essentially tied. Detroit's played 1 more game than Chicago and Kansas City. They have 1 more victory. White Sox trailing Atlanta 2-0 in Chicago in the 4th inning. Miss inside, ball 1 to Chase Headley.
Right now the plate moving around for Manship.
Lindor backhands it, and he goes to second, throws it away.
Oh my goodness.
And this game has just gotten out of hand as the Yankees scored 2 on what should have been at least an out, if not maybe a double play. I don't know why he didn't go straight to home with the throw to begin with.
Well, that's what I don't neither. And I think he second guessed himself. And by the time he made the throw to second, he was coming home. Now, whether he could get it out of the glove, I don't know. That's the play you had. And then he throws it to Kipnis, and it's wild. This has been one of the ugliest games they have played so far this year.
Yeah, you know, I can see it on that angle right there. He didn't have a grip on the ball.
That's what probably happened. He wanted to come home, couldn't get a grip, then wanted to go to second base and made a bad throw. The 3rd error of the afternoon. And boy, it is getting ugly. I would imagine they give him an RBI.
Yeah, he gets an RBI and a fielder's choice for
There's
Headley.
home. Let's go home. Nope, I don't have a grip. I still don't have a grip. So the second run scores, and they still have first and second. It's a 7-1 ball game. And that break cannot come fast enough.
Boy, this team came home. They've been begging to see big crowds here at the ballpark. They've seen some big crowds on this homestand, starting with the 4th of July game against the Tigers. But in this series, outside of the 1 game in which they blew New York out, it's been all Yankees. And the bases are loaded again. Still nobody out. And this is not a great addition of the Yankees that we have been used to seeing over the years. This is a New York club that's, look, they came in a desperate team. I think their manager has managed Like they're a desperate team. He's, as I said before, he's used that bullpen multiple innings with Chapman, with Betances, Andrew Miller. I mean, they're just trying to hang around in the American League East. So they've played well. Give them credit, and the Indians have not.
This is a bonus for them because they're going to go into the All-Star break at 500. And they'll cap their 10-day road trip off at 500, winning 3 out of 4 here. Should they hold on, it's 7-1, and you don't see any reason why they can't. Still with bases loaded and nobody out.
But that's the beauty of the baseball schedule. What you did yesterday means nothing because there's another game tomorrow. And when the Yankees come out of the All-Star break, they get back in the division with Boston, Baltimore, and then San Francisco. Those are their first 3 opponents.
Yeah,
out of the
good
break.
luck.
Swung out and missed. 1-1 to count. On one hand, you can look at that and say, well, it's an opportunity. You get the two teams.
Well, those are the
chasing.
people you're going to have to beat if you want to become a part of it anyways in the division. I know the Giants aren't part of it, but that's just that's the best record in baseball you're going to end up playing.
Romine lifts one foul down the right side. Chisenhall gives it a long look, but way out of play. Joe Colon is now up in the Tribe bullpen, the right-hander. You know that the one nice thing for a manager, and you get into a situation like this, is when you've got a 4-day break coming off, you can go through your bullpen. You don't have to worry about tomorrow, and that's usually the most important thing in a manager's mind when going to a bullpen is what about tomorrow and the next day, the lasting effects. It'll be a sac fly. Scoring is Castro. Headley goes to third, and it's 8-1 New York. Romine picks up his second RBI today. Terry's going to go back to the bullpen as he has a couple of left-handed hitters due up back-to-back, so he'll go to TJ House. The Yankees have scored 3 more here in the 5th. They lead at 8-1. We'll be right back. Stars shine on the biggest stage. It's the Midsummer Classic from Petco Park in San Diego. The All-Star Game can only be seen on Fox starting at 7:30, or you can stream it live with the app Fox Sports Go. TJ House will be the 3rd Indians pitcher of the inning. And he'll face Brett Gardner with the runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Brett Gardner, fielder's choice RBI his last time up.
Well, and the left-hander for House. Lefties so far against him to this point. 3 for 4.
But that's not surprising in that he wasn't brought up here to be a left-handed specialist. He was brought up here
Right,
because he's
to
been a starter
innings.
and he can give you
totally understand
hopefully
that.
some multiple innings if needed.
But he's been able to get the right-handers out, but not the lefties.
Yeah.
That is a little weird. You got to get the lefties out as well. But it's a small sample. It's just starting.
Well, TJ, he'll tell you his style of pitching. He's not a big, I'm going to try to strike you out pitcher. He's pitched to contact. That's
right
when he's at his best.
And in the past, when we've seen him pitch, he's good with traffic on the bases, or has been.
Yeah.
You know, right now you take a double play. Give me a ground ball, get the double play if you can. There's the only out of sacrifice fly.
Try to get him to chase, nothing doing, 2-2.
Yeah, that's where you want to get a swing and a miss sometimes from the left-hander, but he doesn't have that big, hard breaking ball.
Right field, Lonnie Chisenhall will make the catch. Tagging and coming home is Headley. 9-1 New York. Gardner with the second RBI of the day.
Another 4-run inning for the Yankees. One in the second, now one in the fifth. They also put one on the board in the fourth.
Jacoby Ellsbury smacks one in the center field. On his way to third goes Refsnyder. And the ninth man to bat in the inning will be Carlos Beltran.
There's a little slide piece away, and he gets to center field, keeps it going. Now the switch hitter Beltran comes up with 2 outs, and it's a ninth man coming to bat here in the fifth.
Yeah, we're in the top of the fifth.
Right.
And this game's already 2 hours old.
And that defense is, yeah, they've been out there, it seems like about an hour and 45 minutes of it.
And a base hit into right field. Another run is in. 10-1 New York. Beltran's second hit of the day.
And he just stays on the ball. It's down and away. He loves the ball down and just sliced it to right field. Look at that swing. That's picture perfect going the other way. Didn't try to pull it. Not going to help him out. He took what TJ House gave him right there.
Mark Teixeira started the inning with a base hit. He smacks one up the middle. Coming around third, Ellsbury will score. It's a 6-run inning for New York.
This is turning into that game last week like we were in Toronto. That 17-run ball game.
That's 3 straight 2-out hits. All singles. And Didi Gregorius, who doubled and scored earlier in the inning.
Well, this certainly hasn't been a game you want to head into the All-Star break with right here.
No.
You know, giving it up, playing terrible defense. It seems to be like the worst game of the year right now.
Oh my. Gregorius goes down, and now the bases are loaded again. Not sure where that caught him.
I don't know if it was up in the shoulder or not. Looks like he turned away from it.
Here comes Terry Francona. We're going to have another pitching change.
Let's see if it's the right shoulder here. He turned, and exactly what it was right there, right shoulder. Well, for House, not a good outing.
This will be the fourth different pitcher of the inning for Cleveland when we come back. We are in the top of the fifth inning, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Joe Colon is the new Indians pitcher. Colon just made his first appearance with the Try the other day. Down low. When Colon made his major league debut Friday night in the blowout win, he gave up a run on a couple of hits and a strikeout in the 9th inning. Terry said afterwards, said, I thought Colon was probably a little hyped up. Everything he was throwing up there was elevated. But he said when he's good, from what I understand, he's got a powerful sinker. He said we didn't really see that, but everything the other night was just up in the strike zone and they pounded it. But he said that's why you want to. That's why you want to get a young player like that. You want to get him into a game that's sort of out of hand, so he's right. You can let him get that out of his system
The butterflies let him go. Hey, and you don't know how long he's going to be here, you know, so you have to see what he has to offer. But, you know, looking at him one time is certainly not going to give you a good read on it. But he better come in here now.
If he doesn't start calling strikes, we may not ever leave today.
Well, he's been very inconsistent all day long.
The 3-1. Fouled right back, full count. Boy, the Yankees are swinging the bats. They may not want to leave.
Well, like I said, they're getting to that 500 mark, and they're, you know, this could be they're going into the break the way they wanted to. After starting out this trip in San Diego, losing 2 out of 3. Move on to Chicago, play the White Sox. They lost 2 out of 3. And they got a chance here to win 3 out of 4. Make their road trip 500 and their record for the year. And they get the 4 days off. They can rest and look forward to the second half.
Runners going on the 3-2 pitch, and it is going to get out of play. Again, the runners go, and it's fouled back out of play again. Starlin Castro was traded in the offseason by the Cubs to the Yankees. Adam Warren went to Chicago along with Brendan Ryan back in December. Strikes him out, ends the inning. But the Yankees putting one on the Tribe today. They lead it 11-1. Top of the order, 2 up for Cleveland. Masahiro Tanaka has pitched 4 innings. He's given up 1 run on 5 hits, has struck out 4. And unless something goes horribly wrong for him and the Yankees, he's going to go into the All-Star break at 7-2. We all know the Yankees, year in, year out, have one of, if not the most exorbitant payrolls in baseball. And Tanaka's another example of that. I mean, he's a starting pitcher that came from Japan, so you've got to go through that process of being the highest bidder. And he's getting another guy that's $20 million per season a year.
Well, that's making more than the whole starting 5 of the Indians.
And then some, probably.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with another 5 to spare.
And again, I don't bring that up to, I don't begrudge anybody that earns it. It's just the disparity sometimes is staggering.
Well, when you look at the teams, though, and it's all part of the winning process.
Gap shot by Santana. That'll go to the wall. And he's got a leadoff double.
You know, you can go out and sign all the free agents you want. The key to it, though, is you got to have some youth coming up from your own organization. You got to build from within. That's one of the keys to winning.
The foundation of your team has to be homegrown.
You know, when you look at it, and the teams leading it now, Texas, they do it. Chicago Cubs are doing it. The Giants do it. Kansas City has done it. And I mean, that's all part of the process. You have to have your youth coming up from your drafts.
Or you jumpstart the process by trading some aging veterans to reinfuse that young talent into your organization. The Indians have done that several times over the years, where you make a trade, it hurts at the time, but you don't really know who you're getting in return because these are young prospects.
You have to be patient.
Sometimes those deals work out. It just takes time to see the finished product. But Jason Kipnis, a draft pick, Francisco Lindor, Lonnie Chisenhall, Tyler Naquin, obviously.
Well, the Yankees have been a team, and they always have been a team, where they can go out and they can spend. And if they spend and they have an injury or something, they can go out and afford to buy another guy or trade for another high-priced player, where not many teams can do that. And this is a Yankees team now that looks like it's aging quickly.
They have been for several years, I think, trending that way, The 0-2. Kipnis down on strikes. But when the Yankees were at their best during that run in the late 1990s, they were a team that was built with homegrown players like Derek Jeter and
Bernie
Williams, Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettit. Those were their guys that they developed through the system. Now,
and they lasted a long time there too.
Now, obviously, they could always, as you said, Rick, they could always go out and drop a Roger Clemens into the rotation, or somebody else of that ilk. There's a drive to right field by Lindor, and that'll get a run home for the Tribe. Santana scores. Francisco Lindor with his 20th double of the year, RBI number 45. And he's got a 2-hit game. It's going to bring up Mike Napoli as you look at our Lowe's home field advantage. If he can go deep, he'll tie Mark Trumbo for the most homers at home this year. Isn't that interesting, though, when you look at the top 2 guys on the leaderboard, and they're both playing in their first year in new home ballparks? Trumbo in Baltimore. And Napoli here in Cleveland.
Well, he's fit into that ballpark. Trumbo, I mean, he can hit him out anywhere when he's going right. He's going right. What's he have, 28? And Knapp is, boy, he's really hit well in this ballpark.
There's a base hit to left. Lindor stops at third. Indians have their 3rd hit of the inning. Yet Trumbo leads the league with 28. Todd Frazier of the White Sox with 25. Then Encarnacion and Cruz with 23. Donaldson with 22. Chris Davis of Baltimore has 21. Big Pappy has 21 in Boston. And then Santana and Robinson Cano started the day tied with 20. They tell me Chris Davis of Baltimore hit his 22nd already today.
Yeah, well, that guy is just, he can hit him. He gets in streaks too.
And now Ramirez with an opposite field single. So the Indians have found their hitting shoes here in the 5th inning, and they put them on. Home comes Lindor. Ramirez with his 38th RBI of the year.
Unfortunately, it might be a little too late, but they're getting up, getting that pitch. He got it away. He stayed on it. Ramirez another RBI. That's his 38th.
Out comes Larry Rothschild.
4 hits in the inning. Pair of doubles. Santana led it off with a double. Lindor drove him home. Then Napoli, after a strikeout to Kipnis, Napoli base hit. And then Ramirez drives in a run. Well, you only get 30 seconds when you're out there. Sure, it goes by quickly. Just stalling to get the bullpen up.
Nathan Eovaldi. Well, the Indians are getting busy. They've done their damage on the last 4 pitches. They've collected 3 hits. Lonnie swings at the first pitch and fouls it off.
You're getting aggressive. He pulled that ball and almost went between his legs over there into the dugout. It was so far pulled.
Who is he, Curly Neal?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's hard to do. Look where he's facing, and that ball almost went into the steps of the dugout.
That's fair. Teixeira looked to second. He'll take the sure out at first. 2 down. Runners to second and third. Rajai Davis with an RBI single in the second, popped up on the infield his last time up. That's a chopper foul. Napoli leaping up and getting out of the way. Seattle leads Kansas City 3-0. They're in the 4th at Kauffman Stadium. Braves still shutting out the White Sox 2-0. They're in the 5th in Chicago. Get you an update on that Tigers score here in a moment. Here's the 0-1 to Rajai Davis. Foul right back to the screen. At the Rogers Center in Toronto, the Blue Jays lead the Tigers 5-1. They're now in the 8th inning. Now that's a game that's headed for the All-Star break. Ground ball to short. Scooped up by Gregorius. Throws it away. 2 runs will score for Cleveland. And it's now 11-5 as Davis reaches on the errant throw by Gregorius, and Teixeira couldn't dig it out.
It looked a little funny when he caught the ball. It'll be an error. Look, he let it get deep on him. But then by the throw, I don't know if he had it cleanly He had time to make the throw, even though Davis was running. And it gets by Teixeira, so it'll be an error on the Yankees. They will allow 2 runs to score.
All of a sudden, Joe Girardi's saying, uh-oh, this game was in our hip pocket, and now the Indians have closed the gap to within 6 runs, which seems like a lot on normal days, but this isn't a normal day by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it is not.
Tyler Naquin, 0 for 2 on the day. And that's low ball 1. And a foul right back. Even the games that started an hour after ours, Arch, are almost in the same inning that we're in.
Yeah, this has been not a very good day. We already have 20 hits, 16 runs, 4 errors in this game. We're not even through the bottom of the 5th inning.
The White Sox game started an hour after us. They're in the bottom of the 5th. 1-1. Almost hit him. Tyler Naquin, the 8th man to bat in the inning. And the 2-1 pitch. Hits it high, deep right. Refsnyder watching it sail out of here. It ain't over yet. Tyler Naquin with his 9th home run of the year. And the Indians have come back with 6 in the bottom of the 5th to match the 6 the Yankees scored in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, the 9th home run for Naquin. And you can see how costly errors can be. It extends innings. He hung him a breaking ball. And Tyler just knew it as soon as he hit it. So there's 2 outs in this crowd now. Some started filing out, but the ones that are staying, they're up, and it gives them a little blood flow to where they can.
How often do you see a starting pitcher handed an 11-1 lead and he won't qualify for the win?
I don't know. I can't remember the last time. Absolutely.
Tanaka is out with 2 gone in the 5th. We'll be right back on a weird day at the Ball-Yard. Somehow.
Well, he started by Santana with a double. He was able to get Kipnis for a strikeout, and then Lindor doubles in a run. Napoli singled, and then Ramirez takes it the other way. You get the second out, and then trying to end the inning. It was an error. 2 more runs will come in to score.
I knew we couldn't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't recap the inning that fast. And that's only half the inning. Nathan Eovaldi, a starter, working out of the bullpen.
How about this? 12 runs scored in the 5th inning by the 2 teams.
That is just bizarre. Don't see that very often, if ever. Just like you don't normally see a guy with an 11-1 lead.
Can't get a win.
He can't get the win. He's out. Couldn't get the 3rd out of the inning. He should have had it. The defense let him down.
Right.
But
scary.
The same situation held true for the Indians today. Their defense has been subpar. A liner to Gregorius, and that almost went right through him. The inning is over. But the Indians trying to make a game of this thing. Down 11-7 as we go to the 6th. Jimmy, presented by American Eagle Mortgage and Varmint Guard tonight at 8 on Fox Sports Ohio. So that 5th inning only took 46 minutes.
Oh, is that all?
62 pitches were made. 12 runs on 11 hits. Now, the key when you're playing from behind, got to put up a 0.
No question about that. I mean, you drop a 6 spot, you just come back and answered what they put on the board, and they had a chance to they did open this game. They blew it open. But the Indians responded with another 6, so now they're only down 4, and we have 4 innings to go.
And Joe Colon facing Chase Headley. And there's a strike call to Headley. That's 2-1. The Indians needed 4 pitchers to get through that 5th inning. Strikes him out. One away. Defensively, the Indians have had some problems today.
Yeah, they had it started over there. Santana couldn't catch one ball. And all of a sudden, Chisenhall had one he couldn't put away. Ramirez, it was just one of those things. And then to cap it off, it was Lindor wanting to come home, never had a grip on the baseball, throws it wild to the outfield. And it was a circus out there defensively so far to this point.
It's funny how that gets bunched together. Ref Snyder with a fly ball to center. 2 down. Because of the errors today, there have been 8 unearned runs allowed by the 2 starting pitchers combined. Austin Romine. A little low, 1-1. Hit on the ground and wide to third. 2-out single for Romine keeps the inning alive.
Romine picked on a breaking ball there. That's hit number 12 for New York. Down, and you can see at third base, gets past Ramirez, so a 2-out single. We'll roll it over to the top of the lineup again. 5th time that Brett Gardner's coming to the dish.
And a strike caught on the inside corner. Gardner in his last 32 games has batted .328, so he's been on a pretty good run. Squirts away, but no advance. In his last 6 games, including today, he has 6 runs batted in. Giving him now 22 on the year. Left center, Rajay calls for it. Inning over. Joe Colon puts up a 0. Bottom of the 6th. Coming up, Tribe down 4. Top of the order due up for Cleveland. They sent 9 men to the plate in the 5th. So Carlos Santana will lead off once again here in the 6th. Nathan Eovaldi, who got the final out of the 5th inning, stays on for New York with a swing and a miss.
99. I know he threw hard, but I guess if you're not starting anymore, you're coming out of that bullpen, as you said. You can pick up a little more velocity.
Yeah, that's all they need is one more power arm in that bullpen.
No kidding.
Well, that's the biggest problem the Yankees have right now is starting pitching. They don't have enough.
Right. And it is a straight fastball. He's always been, for as hard as he throws, a guy that gives up a lot of hits, and you're thinking to yourself, how can he? But you know, there's with no movement on it. You know, these guys, they know.
They can barrel it up.
Yes, they can.
Deep left, and Gardner runs it down.
There's a case in point right there. Hit on the nose.
Kipnis struck out his last time up, 1 for 3 today. Kipnis, his day began with one of those, oh, is it going to be that kind of day moments? First time up, he hit a ball right on the nose, trying to go the other way. Line drive with Santana running on the pitch, but Headley, the third baseman, reached up and stole it. Next time up, he drilled the hole between third and short. 1-1 to count. He hit that one up to 99. Way outside. Well, trying to fool him with the off-speed pitch. He's run the count full. And Kipnis lifts one to right. Refsnyder is there. He just got under it. 2 down.
Well, you can download MLB's free ballpark app to easily purchase tickets. Unlock a special offers from presenting partner KeyBank. And skip lines by gaining access to mobile-only gates. Visit Indians.com ballpark and learn more.
Only 2 major leaguers have been produced by Alvin High School in Alvin, Texas. Nolan Ryan and Nathan Eovaldi.
Well, I know one thing. They have hard throwers in Alvin.
I was just going to say that, you know.
When you mention those 2 names, I don't know what they do when they're young. What do they throw, rocks or something down there? But they got heavier rocks.
That's what it is. It's heavier rocks. Yeah. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes, it is. Well, we know that.
Now Lindor chased, and the inning is over. The Tribe goes 1-2-3, and we'll go to the 7th, 11-7 New York. Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Key Bank. Use the red key. Member FDIC. New York on top by 4, 7th inning. And Joe Colon still out there for Cleveland. He's got Ellsbury, Beltran, and Teixeira due up for New York. Jacoby Ellsbury hit that big 3-run homer in the 2nd inning that should have never happened. Off the end of the bat to center. 1 down.
Yeah, well, pitches in this game through 6 innings. The Indians have thrown 140. The Yankees have thrown 110.
There's 2 reasons why this should have never happened. The inning should have been over. And even if that wasn't the case, it should have been ball 4 on the previous pitch. But that's the way this game has sort of unfolded. With some strange twists and turns along the way, bad defense. And on both sides, it's been costly. To left. And Rajay Davis will make the catch there. 2 down. Mark Teixeira has singled in his last 2 at-bats, scoring a run and driving one in.
Yeah, you think about it, Matty. This club here today, given up 24 unearned runs on the year. They've given up 7 today. And now that adds to that 24. I'm talking about before this game.
This has just kind of had, really from the outset, this has had just the feel of, oh, it's going to be one of those days.
Well, yeah, let's go. We couldn't get to the break fast enough.
It doesn't mean that they still don't have a chance, because they do. But it was ugly getting to where we are now. Teixeira on a breaking ball, fouls it out of play. Just a bit outside. Dan Otero getting loose. And Colon with a 1-2 offering. Strike 3 called. Inning over. Stretch time in Cleveland. 11-7 New York. Brought to you by Miller Lite. July 10th, 1934, Carl Hubbell struck out 5 consecutive would-be Hall of Famers in an all-star game. They weren't behind glass either. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Double X, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and finally Joe Cronin.
How about that?
We didn't have any video of Joe though, so. Mike Napoli singled and scored in the 5th. Going to lead off here in the home half of the 7th with the Indians down 4. Nathan Eovaldi blowing it in there, 98 miles an hour. A little bit off the outside corner at 99 miles an hour. It's 2-1. That's up 3-1. Back, full count. Blue Jays still lead the Tigers 6-1. They're in the 9th. They're in the 8th inning in Chicago, where the Braves are shutting out the White Sox 2-0. And Seattle is still shutting out Kansas City 3-0. They're in the 6th inning. Here the Indians are down 4. In the 7th, payoff pitch to Napoli. Low, ball 4, leadoff man aboard. UFC Fight Night Wednesday. A couple of top 10 bantamweights meet up in the octagon. Michael McDonald faces off against John Lineker. Tony Ferguson goes up against a UFC newcomer, the undefeated Landon Veneta. It all starts Wednesday at 6 on FS1. Or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Jose Ramirez pops one up. Left field routine, Gardner. 1 down. Now Lonnie Chisnall 1 for 3 on the afternoon.
Base hit in his first at bat to help set up that lone run back in the 2nd inning after the walk.
Rip to left field, get down, foul. That was close. That would have made things a lot more interesting.
Well, had a little slice to it. Hit it hard, but it just sliced. It left certainly off in fair territory. Look at that, coming right at you, and look at the slice on it. By the time it lands, about 3 or 4 feet foul.
Bouncing ball to Teixeira. To second, there's one, back to first. Not in time. So Napoli erased, 2 down in the inning. And the batter will be Rajay Davis.
You see, Teixeira was telling his shortstop, man, move on to the inside. Napoli did exactly what you do. You see where he went into the grass? He made that throw awfully tough for Teixeira, and he couldn't get rid of it quickly. So now he's looking for like So look at him go directly into the path. That's what you do as a base runner. And look at Teixeira. He's complaining about it, and he's saying now he's talking to the umpire. Hey, look, he cut to the inside part of the grass. He's got 3 feet over on the left-hand side from base to base. That's what you do when the ball is hit like that. You pick up the shortstop. You run directly at him. You don't give him an easy throw, whether they like it or not. Now comes the manager. He wants to talk to him about it. And I'll tell you what, to me, that's good base run. There's not a darn thing wrong with that. They're looking for the double play. No, sir.
Oh, now Girardi's asking Hallion to get help from first base umpire Dan Bellino. Hallion's the crew chief.
He took a step, and that's what you do as a base runner. You try and make it tougher to throw. See you later. Sit down. He's fine going in there. He's just trying to make it tougher for him to throw. You see, he was conscious of it. He slid even though he wasn't even going to be there. He could have peeled up, but look at him go directly in the line of the throw. I like that. That's what you're supposed to do as a base runner. You're not even allowed to touch guys anymore, so how are you supposed to break up a double play?
Well, it sure didn't look like anything.
There was nothing wrong with that.
Ball in the dirt. Up to second goes Chisnall. Didn't look like the throw was really impeded at all.
Well, he got rid of it.
Yeah.
As Napoli was coming in. So, I mean, it's too late.
Now, had the ball hit him,
it still would have been fine.
But it would have been interesting to see how the umpires reacted,
yeah.
though.
True. Yeah, true.
You know?
Yeah, we've had enough going on today. We don't need any more drama.
That. We don't need replays and stoppages.
No, not now.
The 1-0 pitch. Low. Just a bit outside, and they count 3-0. There are 2 outs in the inning. Tyler Naquin would be next. And Naquin has already hit his 9th home run of the year today. 2nd of the series. Taking all the way, it's 3-1. Ball 4. Or is it? Oh, I thought he called that. He did call the ball. Okay. Rod usually drops that back quickly, you know.
Yeah.
He kind of deked me with the.
Well, the crowd didn't know. Now they start cheering because they finally see him going to first base.
Last time up, Tyler Naquin. Goodbye. And a strike called on the outside corner or thereabouts.
Well, it's been it's been a tough strike zone to figure out today.
Off-speed pitch hit to Gregorius. And that throws on the money to end the inning. Tribe strands a pair. 8th inning coming up. 11-7 New York. Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Eighth inning here in Cleveland, 11-7 New York. And the new Indians pitcher will be Dan Otero. Really nice job by Joe Colon. 2 1/3 scoreless innings, helping to restore some order.
Yeah, that should help his confidence a little bit right there.
Struck out 3 in his 2 1/3 innings. Didi Gregorius will lead off the 8th for New York. Out of play. Seattle's extended their lead over Kansas City to 5-0 in the 7th. Still 2-0 Braves over the White Sox. And Toronto has all but iced the Tigers, and it is a final. 6-1 Toronto over Detroit.
A double hit. How about
Yeah.
that? Straight down into the ground, and on the follow through, it just looks like it stuck to the barrel of the bat. Straight down, and then hit it again. Double foul.
You're right, though. It looked like it was just riding the bat all the way up.
It was.
Another foul. There's the All-Star jersey. That old school Padres.
Oh yeah,
brown
back in
and
the
gold.
day.
The American League, as I might have mentioned this on the air before, but the American League will be the home team in this All-Star game, even though it is in the National League Park. And that's just because it used to alternate every other year, American League, National League cities, but they did away with that some years back.
Back when Ray Kroc used to own the Padres. Back in the day, we used to train against them. They were in Yuma, Arizona for spring training.
To center field, Tyler Naquin. 1 down. Joe Colon's second big league appearance, much better than his first.
Well, as he said, remember Terry said he's got that hard sinker, keeps the ball down. Look where these pitches are located. They're located down now. He might have been really pumped up in his first major league outing. But look, he concentrated on keeping that ball down, and that's exactly why he was able to give you 2 1/3. He had 3 strikeouts. So maybe settled down a little bit here, and it helped him out.
Starlin Castro has scored a couple of runs today. And Kitten just can't get to that baby. Second hit for Castro. 1 out base runner for Chase Headley. Recapping our keys to the game. Did not go well for Carlos Carrasco, but the Indians, while they didn't get to Tanaka right off the bat, they chased him with a barrage in the 5th inning, and that was after Tanaka was handed an 11-1 lead.
Yeah, there was something. You couldn't predict this game today, no matter how hard you tried. You had 2 very good pitchers. Carrasco was 3-0 in his last 3 starts. Tanaka was 3-0 in his last 4. Had the best road ERA in the league, and it's been just a weird day. The defense has been shabby, more so for the Indians than the Yankees, but the time the Yankees made an error, the Indians capitalized.
Down low.
The bullpen, for the most part, not very good. Once Carrasco came out of the game between Adams, Manship, and House, as you said, Colon sort of settled it down a little bit. No one out there for 2 1/3.
To left, Rajay. 2 down. Well, pitching has not been the order of the day here, but it certainly has been at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, where Mike Foltynewicz shut out Chicago for 7 innings on just 5 hits, punched out 10.
He has a great arm. We saw him in Houston. He was on the DL when we were down in Atlanta, one of their starters, but he has a very good arm.
It'll be up to their bullpen to try and close out a 2-0 lead in the ninth. Swung on and missed by Rob Refsnyder. Josh Donaldson hit his 23rd home run of the year for the Blue Jays in that rout of the Tigers, 6-1. So Toronto will go into the All-Star break 51-40, winning 8 of their last 11.
Yeah, they've picked it up a little bit.
Detroit will go in at 46-43. And unless Chicago and Kansas City rally late, they'll stay a half game back of Detroit. Missed inside. The payoff pitch, the runner goes, and Refsnyder fouls it away. Off the plate, Kipnis charges, flips it, got him, inning over. Middle of the 8th, Tribe needs to rally, down 4. Defensively for New York, Aaron Hicks has come in to replace Rob Refsnyder in right field. And Nathan Eovaldi has worked 2 1/3 scoreless innings of relief. He stays on for the 8th, and Yan Gomes leading off for Cleveland. I was going to say nobody warming in the Yankee bullpen. Brian Shaw getting up for Cleveland. Gomes 0 for 2 today, trying to snap, and 0 for 20. High fly ball, center field, Ellsbury. 1 away. Arch, in that game between Seattle and Kansas City, it was 3-0 Mariners. And then in the 7th inning, Robinson Cano hit a 2-run shot. Adam Lind followed with a 3-run home run. And it went from 3-0 to 8-0
in a hurry.
And that's usually the part of the game where Kansas City dominates. But you know, when you're pitching from behind, you're not using the same bullpen guys.
Yeah, a little different. It sure is.
Chased one up high, but at 98, tough to lay off when it's that close.
Yes, it is. Elevated, and you know, to try and get the barrel out of the bat to the baseball, you better be a little quicker. It's tough to beat him to the line or to the spot.
You know what's amazing to me? As hard as this guy's been throwing, and we've seen him hit 99, 98, 100, that's only a second strikeout.
That's what I said. I mean, a lot of times when he was a starter, he'd give up hits. And you look out there and you see the speed. He has a split. He's got the breaking ball. Yeah, from 86 to 99, not too shabby.
Smashed in the left field. A 2-out single by Jason Kipnis.
You can see where Headley was way off the bag, and Kipnis still got it in the hole over there. So Jason, this second hit today, both of them have come in that hole over there at shortstop today. The Indians with 11 hits.
And with 2 down and a runner at first, Francisco Lindor, the batter, 2 for 4 on the day. He's driven in a run. He scored a run. Picked up his 20th double on the year. It's up and away, 2-1. Lays off, it's up high.
Well, you get another man aboard now, you can make it interesting. There are 2 outs, and it's tough to get rallies going with 2 outs, but if he wants to help you, maybe walk somebody, that'd be great.
And that's just foul over the bag at third.
Lindor looking for his 3rd hit today to give him 17 3-hit games this year if he can get on. But it doesn't matter how, just get on base. They need base runners down 4.
Nathan Eovaldi was moved from the rotation to the bullpen on the 4th of July. And so this is only his 2nd relief appearance since that move happened. Prior to this year, the only other bullpen appearances he'd ever made in his career was in 2011 with the Dodgers. He began his career with LA, pitched a few years with the Marlins before being traded to the Yankees. The runner goes, and the payoff pitch is ball 4. And a 2-out walk will bring up Mike Napoli. Now comes Larry Rothschild, the Yankee pitching coach, and we get action in the New York bullpen. They go to the left-hander Chasen Shreve. That's who's up in the bullpen. Friday night, Mike Napoli hit one of the longest home runs I've ever seen in this ballpark. Almost to the very top of the bleachers in left field. And that's like right down the middle of the bleachers as far as the way the sections. He split it right down the middle, almost to the top. It was absolutely crushed.
Well, now you'll take a base hit. You'll take any way to keep it rolling here. With 2 outs, they had the Kipnis single, the Lindor walk.
Was that? Napoli with a fly ball, left field. Gardner on the run, makes the catch. Inning over. 5 strands a pair, and we go to the 9th. New York by 4. 11-1. They scored 6 to make it 11-7 as we move to the 9th inning here at Progressive Field, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pawlowski here at the corner. Well, I guess one thing you can say about this team, they don't give up.
Yeah, the resiliency for the offense has been pretty good. You think it down 11-1 last day before you go into the All-Star break, you may just say, all right, that's just one of those days. But they've battled back. How about Tyler Naquin, his rookie year? Pretty special campaign so far.
And home running, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that and the Indians' first half coming up on Indians Live right after this one, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Let's head back upstairs for the 9th. Here are Matt and Rick. Fellas.
All right, gentlemen, we go to the 9th, and Brian Shaw will be on for the Tribe. He is the 7th Indians pitcher to work here today. This game kind of got sideways for the Indians in the 5th inning, where they needed 4 pitchers to get 3 outs.
Yeah, it was
rough.
It really was.
They sent, what, 9, 10, 11, 12 men to the plate and scored 6 runs. And then the Indians came back in the bottom half of the inning and sent 9 men to the plate, and they scored 6 runs.
Yeah, but, you know, it was all set up on that 2nd inning. You know, the one inning that, boy, they scored. They put 4 on the board. Could have had none.
And you know how sometimes we talk about defense, you know, you make an error and sometimes you're able to overcome it or pitch around it or whatever.
Right.
Every time the Indians made an error today, and there were 3, and could have been 4, but the Yankees scored every time they made an error today.
Yeah. Took advantage of it. 7 unearned runs.
Missed inside. Outside corner, a strike. Next time the Indians will be home 16 days from now, is that right?
That is correct.
Wow. July 26th.
26th, right. It'll be interleague. The Nats coming from Washington for a 2-game series.
Got the All-Star break coming up, then the Republican National Convention will take over downtown Cleveland, Ohio, while we're on that road trip. And we'll get home just in time for the trading deadline. And then the race really heats up. 2-2 pitch. Smashed foul. It's a final on the south side of Chicago. The White Sox were shut out by Atlanta today, 2-0. So the White Sox, Tigers both lost. It looks like the same fate will fall to Kansas City as they trail 8-1 in the 7th inning against Seattle. So even if the Indians fail to rally back here today, as bad as this game was at the start, they won't lose any ground.
Well, that's a silver lining there.
You and Chuck Tanner, the eternal optimists.
That's right. You got to find something positive in this game because there's enough negative going around all the time. Chuck Tanner might have been the best.
He was, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. What a terrific man. When you talk about positive, and it didn't matter. Always had a smile on his face, and you're right. He was positive about everything. Why shouldn't you be?
Spent a little time working with the Indians organization. Most famously, of course, he was the manager of the We Are Family Pirates.
Nice pitch.
1979. Brett Gardner rung up, 2 down. Play of the game brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet. It's twofold. Looked like ball 4, except it was called a strike. And instead of Jacoby Ellsbury walking to load the bases, he got another pitch and hit it out.
Isn't it funny how you can do that? He's arguing with the umpire saying, you blew that call. He should thank him for calling it a ball because he hit a home run on the next pitch. Just the way this game works.
Count. Foul out. You know, I love to bring things full circle.
Yes, you do.
You mentioned Chuck Tanner.
Yeah.
The We Are Family 79 Pirates. And
right.
3 booths down, Ken Singleton played on that Baltimore Orioles
team. Oh, he sure did. Yeah.
That had a 3-1 lead in that World Series.
Yeah.
And the Pirates came back and beat them.
Now that you remember, yes, indeed. I remember it well.
They don't come much better than Ken Singleton.
No, he's a very nice man, too.
Stand-up guy.
Does a nice job. Has been broadcasting for about 30 years now.
You know, Rick, as a kid watching him play, he always looked like a big guy on TV.
He was huge.
And the first time I met him, I was like, oh, my God.
You don't realize how big. Now, this guy was a switch hitter. You talk about good switch hitter, had a terrific eye at the plate. He was.
And for your era, he must have looked like a monster up the field.
He was, man. Are you kidding me? His legs were as big as I was. But he played on some very good teams there in Baltimore. He's been a very good broadcaster for a long time and just flat out is a nice man.
2-2 to Ellsbury. Popped in the air, center field. Naquin says, I'll take it. He does. And a 1-2-3 ninth for Bryant Shaw. Last chance for the Indians when we come back.
Last chance, down 4. Eovaldi still on the mound. It's going to be Ramirez, Chisenhall, and Davis, scheduled hitters for the Indians.
And Hosey looks at a ball down and in, ball 1. 1 for 4 today. He drove in a run. Singleton scored in the 5th. Up and in. You know, it's funny. We always, as fans, it's fun to talk about who's the MVP, who's this, who's that. And that term valuable is open to interpretation, but you can make a case for what Ramirez has meant to this team this year that in the first half he's at least in consideration for their first half MVP?
Well, I would think so. You know what? Because, you know, they weren't expecting anything from him really, and he has just stepped up. How many times do you see a young hitter come up and they insert him, or he works his way into the middle of the lineup? He has hit in every spot of the lineup this year, 1 through 9. He has played 4 different positions and held his own.
3-2.
He has forced Terry to continue to. He's an everyday player that, you know, right now he has a spot in left field. It'll be interesting to see. I hope Brantley comes back in July so this kid can give breathers to Lindor, to Kipnis on the infield, and also Uribe at third base.
Try to
and
keep
you won't
everybody
have to
fresh.
mess
Yeah.
with the outfield because, you know, you got a nice mix. You want to see Chisenhall play a little more. He's swinging a bat. Naquin, you know, and you get Brantley back.
And then you got Rajay Davis. So then you've got true 4 outfielders.
Then you work those guys around. So that would be nice to see that happen. But, you know, as I said, you can't rush it. You just have to wait and see what happens to Michael Brantley. But if it ever does happen, it'll be nice.
3-2 is finally grounded into fair territory, and Teixeira records the out, 1 down. Good battle by Ramirez, but Eovaldi wins out. Dellin Betances is up. He is getting loose. Lonnie Chisenhall, 1 for 4 today. In the dirt. Jam job left field. Gardner, 2 down. Well, for folks who work a normal 40-hour work week, they understand that just getting a weekend off, just take you work Monday through Friday, you get Saturday and Sunday off. Come back to Monday, you're kind of ready to go that first. You're not ready, you're not anxious, but you're ready to go. Imagine 4 days off, and these players, it doesn't seem like a lot after playing 88 games, but they'll have a lot of pep in their step. They'll be raring and ready to go come Friday in Minnesota.
Well, they're creatures of habit. They do stuff every day. You know, during the year, it's all in. You know, but the grind, the travel.
Just having 1 day
playing
off.
with well, sometimes 1 day is all you need just to get a break. I mean, even when you're playing, that's when the skipper says, you take the day off, and no, I'm not going to play you. But I hope everybody enjoys the All-Star break, get fired up and come back.
Well, this ball game comes to an end as the Yankees come to Cleveland and take 3 out of 4 from the Tribe as they win the finale by a final score of 11-7. But as I said earlier, if there's a silver lining today, it's that the Indians didn't play well. They stunk it up for the most part, but they don't lose any ground in the Central Division. So this one will be easy to file, forget, come back with a clean slate and go get them Friday in Minnesota.
Yes, it will, Chuck Tanner. You're right. I mean, you always have to look at that. You know, there's something positive that happened today. Not a whole lot when you look at the way they play, but the outcome of it and the teams that are chasing them couldn't make up any ground. There you go. Enjoy the All-Star break. But it was one of those series. Yankees come in. They did what they had to do. They won 3 out of 4. They get themselves to 500 as they go into the break. And now their thing will be, okay, we got to start out the second half on fire because we're playing teams in our own division.
So the final today is New York 11, Cleveland 7. We will be off until Friday when we greet you next from Target Field in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, with game number 89 as the Indians get back to work Friday night. Until then, for